Ha! Hey everyone, Hassan here. Welcome to the world of Ha. My Power Rangers Lightning Collection reviews continue, and we are now on Wave 4 of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. I'm still catching up, still have a lot more to go, but we're finally getting closer and closer to current state of where we're at. And this is a really, really cool wave of Lightning Collection figures. So, we do get another Mighty Morphin figure with the Mighty Morphin Yellow Ranger, but it's great to have the Yellow Ranger, so that's really, really exciting. We're stepping into the follow-up season Zeo with the Zeo Blue Ranger right there. And then we're getting into one of the more fan favorite seasons, SPD with the Red Ranger, which is very exciting. And of course, you got to go with the current season Beast Morphers, and we have Cybervillain Blaze. So that is also very, very cool. I love that suit, and I'm excited to finally have a Lightning Collection figure of that as well. So let's take a quick look at the packaging, and then we're going to get, up close and in detail with all these. So starting left to right here, here's the Zeo Blue Ranger. And so there's the amazing artwork, as always, on the Lightning Collection figures. Really, really cool. You can see some of the accessories he has, which of course we'll take a close look on, but there's the Rocky head, which doesn't look like Rocky in my opinion. Not the greatest head for these Lightning Collection figures, but, there it is. And there's the Zeo Blue Ranger posed right there on the back. So, yeah, definitely curious to really, open this up and take a look. I like the look of the gold. It seems to be nice and shiny, which is pretty good. And then we have our SPD Red Ranger. And so as you can see with the packaging there, Red Ranger, full force right there. Really, really cool. Unfortunately, it does look like I do have some paint scuffs on it, so some of the white mark has kind of been scratched off a bit. So that is a bit annoying. There are, quality control issues that have plagued the Lightning Collection line from Hasbro. So do keep that in mind if you are ordering online. It's kind of hit or miss. If you're finding them in stores, well, sometimes it's hard to find them in stores, but then you might have a bit more flexibility in finding a figure that, isn't as, or is in better condition, I should say. I like having the SPD Morpher there as well. That's a nice touch. And yeah, there he is in all his glory. Right there. Really, really cool. SPD Red Ranger. Then we're going to bring in Beast Morphers Cybervillain Blaze. Awesome artwork on the side there as well. Really, really cool. Yeah, I love the head that they included. They've really done really well on the Beast Morphers figures overall in capturing their likeness. I think that's a pretty good representation of Blaze from the show. Really, really nice looking suit. Excited about that. Really cool accessories he has, and it's a little bit hidden, but he even has a briefcase there, which we'll get into, so that's really, really cool. And of course, there he is in the back. Love that effect piece too. So this is definitely looking like it's going to be one of the best Lightning Collection figures that we've had, and I'm very excited for it. And Mighty Morphin Yellow Ranger. This also looks really, really great. And I think they did a great job of the face here as well, because again, it's kind of hit or miss, especially with the Mighty Morphin figures too. And I think this is one of the better looking civilian heads compared to some of the other Rangers that we've had before. But there's the artwork, which looks great there as well. And then the back of the box looking really, really nice. So, great wave, and I am very, very excited. So, without further ado, let's get these open and take a look. Alright, here we have Wave 4 of the Lightning Collection out of the packaging, and I gotta say, these figures are actually really, really cool. I'm very excited about this wave. I think this is definitely one of the better waves so far that I have gotten the chance to open up here. So we're just going to go left to right here and go through each of these figures up close. So let me move these other ones towards the back for now, and let's start with our Zeo Blue Ranger. So first, I just want to real quick just give you a comparison with the Lightning Collection figure versus the Legacy figure from Bandai. I'm not going to do comparisons for every Lightning Collection figure that I do, but there's a few sometimes that I really want to highlight. Just to give you an understanding of what Hasbro is really doing with this toy line. So first of all, you can see it is a bit of a smaller figure with the Lightning Collection, but man, the proportions, just everything overall looks so much better in Hasbro's version. I like the darker gold that they used versus like this kind of shiny, but then this part's not shiny, sort of butterscotch color, right? Like overly muscular, like it's just overall not so great. And I will say with the Zeo designs, the Zeo suits in general are not some of my favorite suits. I don't hate them. They just don't click with me. I think Zeo, the Red Ranger in particular, maybe because the star helmet or something, like, is not bad. But some of these other figures to me are just kind of boring. I will say the Lightning Collection figure is one of the first times that when looking at it, I kind of get it. Maybe it's the proportions, maybe it's the gold and the blue that they use, just it works really well. Blue's my favorite color, so maybe that's what it is. The helmet looks great, like, you know, like this helmet looks terrible. I don't know what it, like, I think this piece is just way too big and just, there's something about the proportions. It just doesn't look appealing, and that's kind of how the Zeo suits have always been for me. But this, something about it works. I get it. You know, like for the first time, I finally actually get it as to why people like some of these Zeo suits. And this actually looks really good. And so that's quite impressive for a figure to start to change my opinion on the suit, right? Because usually the toys are like the last thing that's going to, you know, make you really like a suit because they're going to, you know, they're never going to be that show accurate or whatever reason. But let's first get into the accessories that he comes with, because there are a few. So he has two grabby hands right there. And he comes with two fists. So if you want to swap with the fists, there you go. So I like that. He also comes with some of his weapons. Now, I apologize, I don't remember the names of all the Zeo weapons and stuff. So he's got this little blaster right here, which I believe is standard for the different Rangers, I believe. It's been a while since I've seen Zeo. But pretty good paint and detail on it, so that's nice. And this can... or I think it goes on this side, actually. Yeah, it just sits right in, right there on the holster, which looks good. And he has this weapon right here, which I believe is another thing that is this standard across the figures or not? Because I know that there are complaints online, I believe, about Zeo Blue not coming with his signature weapon, like how the Red Ranger comes with a sword. So I believe this is just a standard Zeo thing, and not specific to the Blue Ranger, but I might be wrong. Again, it's been a while. Either way, like, pretty good paint and detail, and actually even, like, if you look up close on that handle, like, that's really good detail for a weapon. Like, that's really solid. So, that's pretty great. So he can, of course, hold those, or you can, you know, have this inserted right there, and that looks really good. Again, they're really impressing me with the way this figure looks. He also comes with this effect piece right here, and so I think this is meant to go. This looks like a an effects piece that goes with a sword here, and so the idea seems to be that there is an insert right here, where you would be able to have this attach on to the tip of the sword, and you could, like, be attacking someone or doing something with that, I guess. You know, it's not bad. In fact, I like that it's not something that's just going to fall right off like some other effects pieces have in the past. So it's kind of cool. I appreciate, you know, what they were trying to do with it. So that's pretty nice. Then there's, of course, the civilian head, which we'll get to in a second. But let's talk. Actually, well, let's take an up-close look at the detail, and then we'll talk about the articulation. So, taking a look at... Come on, focus, camera. There we go. Taking a look at the detail there. Pretty good detail on the chest. So this helmet design works for me, like the way that it's sculpted. I think it's got good proportions. Looks pretty good. Really solid buckle there. You can really see the distinct designs and everything, so that's pretty awesome. Even down to the arm cuffs, as you can see, the detail on those is pretty good. And here as well. So there you go. Yeah, overall, really good detail on the figure here. So then, in terms of articulation, this is going to be your same standard Lightning Collection figure articulation. So let's do a quick run through here. So of course the head's going to rotate and move up and down because it's on a ball joint. You do have a little bit of shoulder swivel there, rotation here, moves upwards. This whole arm rotates. You got a double joint right there at the elbow. And then the hand will, rotate around as well. Then this upper body does rotate and move up and down and side to side. And then you also have this joint right here that does move as well. The legs, have a good range of motion, moving forward a good amount. This whole leg piece does rotate. Double joint at the knee as well. The whole boot rotates as well. And then foot swivel and up and down movement also. But yeah, overall, I think they did such a great job with it. I love, again, just in general with the Lightning Collection, the molded details. Like, look at that boot, right? Like, they've molded in all the creases and everything, and it makes it look more like a person. And I think that's what really sold me on this figure. I think just the overall proportions, it just looks really, really solid. Speaking of it, being a person, right? So that's the great thing about Lightning Collection is you can swap and put on the heads. So let's do that here and take a look at our Rocky head, Steve Cardenas here. And I don't know. I don't really know what they were going for, to be honest, with this one. I think this was one of those hit and a miss type figures right there. This was a miss for sure. I can't really pinpoint one specific thing because I'm trying to figure out like what angle even might look like him kind of, but I don't know. It just doesn't look like Rocky to me. So personally, I'm not going to be, I don't know. Like if I display all my figures, I would keep it consistent, but like not super big on how that looks. But I will say the suit in general looks pretty freaking fantastic. So definitely sold me on the Zeo designs overall. So I'm excited, hopefully to get some more Zeo figures in the future, because again, I think this looks really, really cool. So enough talk about Zeo. Let's jump forward in time to Power Rangers SPD right here. So we have the SPD Red Ranger. No, sorry about that. I have a cough drop in my mouth, so if you hear something moving around in my mouth, that's that. So he has two grabby hands with like fingers extended for like trigger, to like put the fingers around the triggers, because he does have some gun attachments. Then he has this like wider grabby hand, which is for the right hand. And then the left hand is the karate chop hand, which sucks. I don't like it. I've said it before. I don't know of a good pose with the karate chop hand. I just don't like it, but there it is. Also, he comes with the SPD Morpher right here. And I'm going to try and get in and zoom in if this thing will focus in on the finer details. Maybe here. It's going to be a little bit hard to, oh, nope, sorry. Focus. All right, sorry y'all if you're watching. You're like, it's so blurry. I know, this is really hard. So it might be a little hard to tell. I think you can see it. You can see the words inscripted on there, which is great. So that's definitely, I appreciate the tiny little detail that they had to put into that. Now, I might be wrong, because it's been a while since I've looked at an SPD Morpher, but I feel like this little piece on the right side, which kind of moves up and down, I thought it's supposed to be on this side. Is that right? So that might be off, but to be honest, it's such a small thing that like it doesn't bug me too much, but if that's the case, unless I'm just remembering it wrong, I might be remembering it wrong. Maybe this is right, because if you're holding it in your right hand, you would have the little switch here. So actually, I might be wrong. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. I think it still looks really good. The amount of detail they're able to put in this is pretty great overall anyways. And so I think this hand is probably a nice hand to be able to like, finagle holding the SPD Morpher into if you kind of slide it in a certain way. I don't know if I can get it to fit properly. Maybe slide in. You kind of have to like bend the fingers in a little bit. Yeah, kind of like that. So that's really cool because he can actually hold the Morpher right there. And so I appreciate that. Then It comes with 2 blasters as well, so let's take a close look at the 2 right here. Okay, come on. Focus there, and the other side as well. So pretty good overall. Now, the nice thing about these is, of course, he can hold one in each hand. So let's have him do that to demonstrate here. Just slide this into the hand. Okay. And you can have some great poses with each of these blasters just like that, right? So that's really, really cool. So that's pretty great. But also, there's actually, if you'll see the little tips here, there's a hole on the back of one of these, and if you remember, these can also combine. And then you have the full-size one, which again, I don't remember the name, so I apologize, but that's really cool. I like when they're able to make these mini little weapons combine as well, which has some added playability and display options, which is great. Also, speaking of that whole combining thing, regardless of that, you also have another effects piece here, which is like this blaster effect, and so you can basically kind of have that attach on like that, and there you go. So he can be, you know, I'll just kind of pretend like he's holding it so I don't waste time there, but he can be sort of blasting like that, which is really cool. I like this effects piece. I mean, it's effective. Simple but effective, you know? So there we have that. Of course, we have the civilian head, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's take a look at this figure up close here. So focusing first on the helmet, if it will focus, maybe. Come on. All right. So you can see the badge and stuff there. Pretty good overall with the helmet. I think overall, you know, they captured the likeness. You have your SPD logo there. The 1, again, I got little scuff marks, which kind of suck, but it's the luck of the draw, right? You do have an SPD badge on the side, which looks pretty good. The belt buckle right there, it's all gray. You know, so it looks kind of plain looking, but it does say SPD on it and stuff. I guess it is what it is. So yeah. And he can, of course, have the blasters in the holsters as well. So as far as articulation goes, I'm not really going to spend much time on it. Otherwise, you know, other than to say it's the same articulation as the Blue Ranger and most all other Lightning Collection figures. So nothing has really changed with that. So looks pretty good. All right. Then, last but not least, we do, of course, have the civilian head. So let's take a look at that. Now, this is one where when they first like revealed it, they used like, I think it was like a cosplayer's face or something in the you know, promotional materials or something, and it was like people kind of freaked out. Luckily, the final figure looks pretty good, and actually does look like Brandon J. McLaren. So it actually does look like Jack here. If I can get this to sit on, there we go. So overall, I think they actually ended up doing a good job of that. And here he is, right there. There's Jack. Again, looks pretty good overall. Now, again, these figures are hit or miss, right? In terms of quality control. Mine, look at that chin. Yeah, he has battle damage right there on his face. That's a pretty serious thing. I'm thankful that it's pretty much not noticeable from any which way that I would display it. Like from these angles, you can't really notice it, even though it's a huge gaping thing at the bottom of his chin. Luckily, I'm not going to be displaying him like this, but, you know, that is kind of a bummer. So again, keep that in mind with the Hasbro Lightning Collection figures. They're pretty great, but quality control does need to be improved. That is something that has been a challenge across this whole toy line. So the paint that you're seeing on each of these figures may slightly vary. All right, so that is the SPD Red Ranger. That brings us then to current state with Beast Morphers here. Cybervillain Blaze. This figure is also really, really cool. And so, first, talking about what he actually comes with. So, two grabby hands. The right hand has the pointer finger extended like he's going to pull the trigger there on something. So, you do have that. And you have two fists that he comes with as well. Okay. He also comes with his sword right here. Pretty simple, but, you know, looks fine. And you get this cool effects piece as well. So let's attach this, have him kind of hold it there, and add on this effects piece if we can. So just try and like slide this through a little bit, you know, something like that. Looks pretty cool. You know, I do like these types of effects pieces, and I like that they have always sort of picked colors that sort of match. Like this purplish color, like it fits in with his color scheme and everything, right? So overall, I think it this effects piece works pretty well. So I appreciate what they did there. Now, here's an example of every now and then Hasbro just goes above and beyond. And I don't know why, like nobody asked for this, but I think everyone was very happy about it because it was just so unexpected. He actually comes with the little briefcase thing that he uses to steal Morph-X. Like that is just, I never thought that they would include something like that, but that's so cool. And so as you can see like the green Morph-X on the sides there, and it opens up. And inside you can see like little buttons and things there, which is really, really cool. And it even says, right there, virus loading with like a sticker and everything. So really, really nice attention to detail there. I definitely appreciate them actually including this because you can have them on display trying to steal some Morph-X or do something like that is really, really cool. I absolutely was not expecting that at all, but that is awesome that they did include that. All right, let's take a close look at this figure. Actually, quick, before we do that, I should say here is on the left side the figure from the Beast Morphers toy line. So I do want to compare the Beast Morphers toy line to the Lightning Collection. Obviously, Lightning Collection figure is going to be more expensive, and so there's going to be more articulation and all that sort of thing. But the Beast Morphers figure, you know, is not bad. It looks pretty good. So I do want to do a comparison. This is the sword that he comes with. So Lightning Collection wise, you'll see it's pretty much the same. In fact, like slightly taller, but like not really much of a difference, right? So let me move that sword out of the way and just compare the figure itself. Overall, looks pretty good. I will say, like, this guy is a little bit skinnier. He almost looks younger. Actually, it looks like he's like the younger brother of this one, in a way. So I do appreciate the proportions of the Lightning Collection figure a little bit more. But like the detail and stuff, like, is not bad. You know, like it's actually pretty comparable overall. That's why the Beast Morphers figures are actually pretty impressive. Now here you'll see the extra added, you know, black paint there to complete this whole thing. So that's one difference. But otherwise, like, there's not really much else of a difference there. Articulation is the big thing, right? Where the Beast Morphers figures, there's like a single elbow joint, but you can rotate the arm and do some movement there. The upper body does not rotate, so you're limited there. And the legs, while they do have a single knee joint, and the bottom part of the legs does rotate, although it rotates at the knee, which is a little awkward, but it does rotate. The legs do not move outwards at all. So you're stuck with the forwards and backwards movement there. And so that's honestly the biggest distinction here is the articulation. So let's take a quick look at that then, just to compare again. Head rotates all the way around. It is on a ball joint because it is detachable. This piece here is a little flexible as well, so that is nice. So as you rotate this, you know, you can flex and get the arm to rotate around. There is, again, the same shoulder swivel, same articulation as with other Lightning Collection figures, but just to kind of highlight it again, rotation there, double joint at the elbow, and the hand will, of course, rotate and move up and down. And then you have this entire upper body piece that does rotate and move around. This joint right here as well. The legs do move apart, so finally you get some motion there. This turns, you have a double joint at the knee. The boot, however, that's one difference here. The boot does not rotate. Unlike some of the other Ranger figures, this part here does not rotate. But the feet do have a swivel and move up and down. So almost exactly the same as everything else, just, you know, the boot doesn't rotate, which is not that big of a deal because the entire leg rotates and you still pretty much get the same type of thing. So yeah, definitely, you know, while the Beast Morphers figure is good, this is an improvement even more so, and looks great. And so now let's take a quick closer look just to get the finer details of this figure here. Okay. You can see the nice, you know, sort of orange visor there. Come on, focus here. Some good detail up top as well. And on the sides. Okay. Good amount of detail there. So, yeah, I mean, overall, looks good, right? Pretty solid figure. And, of course, this does come with a civilian head. The only thing I'm hoping for now, well, one, we still need Beast Morphers Yellow and Silver, but give me a Roxy figure as well, right? Like, if I have Blaze, I want to display the two of them side by side. That'd be so cool. And then, of course, they also get those power-up forms a little bit later. Spoiler alert from Season 2. Like, that would also be awesome to have as well. But that's kind of like icing on the cake. At least get us a regular Roxy. And this looks good. I mean, I think they did a great job, again, at capturing the likeness of Blaze right there. And looks really good. You know, let's taking a close look at the face as well. The hairstyle, his expression, like that. Look at that. Like from the side there, that sort of evil smirk. Like, it's so good. I think they did a great job of this figure. And of course, because this is Lightning Collection, right? And so with Lightning Collection, you're using the same joints and things for all the helmets and stuff, right? So what that means is you have a Blaze head, and if you remember from Beast Morphers, who was supposed to be the original Beast Morphers Red Ranger? Well, it was Blaze. And so if you want to fulfill your fantasy and have Blaze be the actual Beast Morphers Red Ranger, that is now completely possible. Or any other Ranger for that matter. You can mix and match Ranger powers and have some fun with that. But that is really, really cool. I do appreciate, you know, being able to do stuff like that. So, all right. So that leaves us then, last but not least, with the Mighty Morphin Yellow Ranger. We're continuing the classics. You got to have the Mighty Morphin team, of course. And, you know, again, I think they've done a great job at just making these figures look like actual people to an extent. I still feel like with the female figures, they tend to go a little, like, really skinny with the arms, like, to the point that they almost look fragile a little bit, but like they're not like all like that, and you know that's a little bit of a bummer. I think partially that's just because they try and utilize some of the same or similar molds across figures, and so that's just kind of the downside there. But still, what I will say is it's a definite improvement from the Legacy version. So bringing in the Legacy Yellow Ranger on the left to compare, God, now looking at this. Like, what did we even think back then? You know what I mean? Like what is this monstrosity? Like, the proportions on this are all over the place, and just, I don't even, like, this is just, it's kind of scary to look at, to be completely honest with you. Like, I look at this Legacy figure, and I'm just like, wow, like, that's, at the time, we thought that was, like, this is the collector's, you know, figure. This is what we're getting. And now look at this. This looks so much more like an actual person, and just, yeah, wow. Okay, enough of that. Let's keep it going with Lightning Collection here. So there are two grabby hands right there, and then right hand, you got this sort of hand with some fingers extended, like it's holding the, probably perfect for the blade blaster. So there's that. Left hand, unfortunately, is a karate chop hand. They need to stop with that, but there it is, karate chop hand. So she does come with the blade blaster, of course, same one that's come with other previous Rangers, the red and white paint. It's, you know what to expect there. So there it is. And of course, she has to have her power daggers. And so here are the power daggers. Now, if you got the San Diego Comic-Con set, that came with all of the power weapons, and these are the exact same. I did compare off camera. These are the exact same ones as the ones from the Comic-Con set. But just to show you up close, if you missed it in that video, here they are, looking pretty good. And it might be a little bit hard to see because this camera just doesn't want to focus. But there's kind of a vague outline of the saber-tooth tiger, on the daggers as well. I'm not gonna, it's just not focusing, but nice detail there. So she can hold the daggers, so let's just quickly have her do that as well. And so because these are all the same as the San Diego Comic-Con one, the big selling point there was that could combine to form the Power Blaster. So same thing applies here. If you get all the Mighty Morphin figures, you will be able to, form the Power Blaster as well, which is great. So there are the daggers right there. And she comes with two effects pieces right here. Same thing, so two of the same thing. And these are meant to go on top of the daggers. So there should be, yep, there's a little opening. And basically, this will just kind of slide in like that. And you'll have another one here. I don't know. We've had this one before in the past. I'm not the biggest fan of these ones. I just think they're just too much for like these little sword things, and it's just a little awkward to hold. Like some of them don't stay in super well. So I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of these effects pieces, but in general, it's nice to have. It's good to have options, right? So there you go. There's your effects piece. So then in terms of actual detail, let's get an up close look at the figure here. Okay. Zooming in. I think they did a good job of capturing the helmet here, and the proportions I think look pretty good. Obviously the Mighty Morphin suits have kind of a simpler design, so there's that, but it looks good. Power Morpher also looks good, and if you zoom in, you do kind of have a vague outline of what would be saber-tooth tiger, sort of. Although I seem to have some like little tiny holes in mine, kind of. Or is that supposed to be the openings of like the mouth or something? I don't know. It's a little less easy to spot compared to like some of the other ones, but it's there at least. It's fine. There are the boots. And yeah, overall, again, looks pretty good. So, articulation here for this figure, right? So, of course, as we know, the head is going to rotate and move around. You do have the bit of shoulder swivel there. It is a little tight, so just keep that in mind, depending on your figure. It looks like mine's kind of fused a little bit to the top there. So it's not the easiest, but you can see it here. You can see the movement there. This does rotate around as well. And then beyond that, this whole piece can turn around. You have a single joint at the elbow, but this entire piece does rotate as well. And then, of course, the hand can rotate and move up or down as well. Then, the entire upper body has movement. You do have a joint right there. The legs do move as well. Rotation, double joint at the knee. This boot does rotate as well. And then foot swivel and up and down movement there. So the legs are pretty much the same as any other Lightning Collection figure. It's just the upper body is a little bit different than some of the male figures, but still pretty good. So yeah, there it is right there. Oh, and of course, you do have the civilian head, right? So bring in Trini right here. And looks pretty good. You know, again, I gotta say, this is probably one of the better Mighty Morphin civilian heads that they've had compared to others. And so, yeah, looks pretty good. And I like how they were able to, you know, like this one's a little different with the hairstyle because like the hair is kind of going over the front and back. So like they've done it in a way that obviously it will make the rotation a little bit, you know, kind of challenging in some poses, but I kind of like that. It gives it a bit more personality, dare I say. But yeah, overall, like that's really, really good. Pretty solid civilian head right there. So, if I can just pop that one back off. And that's pretty much it. That is wave 4 of the Lightning Collection. I gotta say, I don't think there's a single dud in this line. I really don't think so. I think they've done a great job of all these figures this time around. Now, obviously, in terms of which one I would recommend, I think it's just more your favorite. Like, you know, if you had to pick one of these figures, I can't really tell you which one. I think they all, depending on which character is your favorite out of these 4 or whatever, I think the one that has the most bells and whistles, just by a little bit, is Blaze because of the extra, like, accessory here with the little, you know, briefcase thing. But, you know, otherwise, I mean, everything else is pretty solid. So there you have it. There's wave 4. Let me know in the comment section below what you think as well. I do have a bunch of other releases, not just in waves, but like the Zed and Rita wedding set. We have the Putty Patroller 2-pack. We have the Psycho Ranger team pack, SPD Omega. There's a bunch of stuff. And we have wave 5 that has released. And, oh, Dino Charge Black. There's a bunch. Wave 6 has been pre-ordered, and I just saw something today as of filming where somebody found some of the wave in Target. So, like, these things are coming fast. And make sure you're subscribed because I'm going to be reviewing these. We got a lot more reviews still to come. And check out the reviews I posted recently. We have lots of great Lightning Collection content here on the channel, so make sure you check that out. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, take care, and I will see you later.